Welcome back to another video called Blood. Came out in 1997. Goodness. The game is on Steam now. I don't know when it released though. Pretty cool music, gotta be honest.
I'm gonna have to put you down.
Oh, there he is. Oh my god, there's two of them. We'll have to use a better gun than that. Okay, well, one down. Other one's upstairs somewhere. I want to use that skull weapon actually. I want to use this weapon. I don't know what I'm doing. So this these things is just for weapons. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that one is done. So that was post-mortem. Now we have user maps. These are all maps made by people. So we'll play like, I don't know, for an hour. It didn't work. It didn't work again. Okay, so we can't even play normal difficulty. Dude, there's so many though. It just none of them works. Okay, well, if that's the case, guys, we can actually make a review of the game and then call it. So, I've never played Blood before. Obviously, I did play it on the MS-DOS emulator. We got very close to the end, but there was a glitch. I couldn't finish the game. And the only way to finish it, I had to like redo the whole thing. While I was doing research of it, I saw that this game is actually has twice the graphics I had. So did a little bit of research, found the game on Steam. I thought this game is not on Steam. I thought it's only on MS-DOS. And then, yeah, so I bought the game, play it again from scratch. But at the end of the day, guys, like, my honest opinion about this, I feel like this game is a little bit outdated, obviously. This game came out literally when I was 6 years old. So it's a very, very old game. However, I think this game definitely make a dent into, like, games from then on forward, like how games is being produced. This game feels pretty much like Doom, pretty much like Wolfenstein did also back in the day. I did play Doom, I did play Wolfenstein, I did play Duke Nukem, or whatever, Duke Nukem. I did play those games when I was a kid. But this game, actually, it feels pretty good for a game that's that old. So what I mean by making a dent on how games is, I feel like it had everything that had to be in a game back then for the next, I wouldn't say next generation, but the next games made better, you know, using this as a reference or like a guide on how games should be played or should be made. I think this game definitely has that aspect. Something else I need to mention is that if you buy this game on Steam and play it, you also get cutscenes. Now, these cutscenes is not in the emulator version that I played, but it also seems like the very last one, The Dead Reckoning. Was it Dead Reckoning? I think so. It didn't have cutscenes, so that is a little bit, how do I say it? It's a little bit weird. Because the game technically ends then at Farewell to Arms, if that makes sense. The variety of guns is crazy, man. Like, I think if you use all weapons in this game, you'll have never, like, inventory issues. The problem, though, is there's, like, 10 different weapons, like, if I have to take a guess. And you can't, like, play WASD and then also press the number 8, you know, fast enough. Or so precise, right? So I feel like it's mandatory that you have cycling through, but sometimes it just takes very long. So what I mean, there was no UI back then, but like I was hoping for, I don't know if you guys watched my, I mean, it's in Resident Evil as well. Last of Us has it also. But it's also in a Days Gone that I could hold a button, the game goes slow motion, and then I could choose the weapon of choice, right? With a wheel. I feel like this game could have been better if it had a feature like that. Or just have a wheel where you can choose your weapon with, you know, if you press the button, your mouse is actually being displayed on the screen. And then you could just hover over the weapon you want to choose. I think if that feature was in here, this game would be 10 out of 10. Like, I'm not even kidding. Especially for a game that's this old, right? There's many golden old games out there, I would say, that definitely paved the way when it comes to making content, at least, or making games. Something like Contra as well, back in the day, I think had a severe impact in the gaming industry. Something like Street Fighter as well. Severe impact on how fighting games should look like or should be played or should be made. The same with this game. Obviously, I've never heard of Blood before. This is my first time ever playing this. And to be honest, I had a blast. I think this game is definitely in a very different genre from what I'm used to. But on this channel, we already did cover Doom 3. I think it's Doom 3. And this game just feels like it's a pixelated version of Doom 3. Like, if you enjoy Doom, you'll enjoy this game as well. It's literally the same thing. Something that I also didn't like about this game is the fact that once you're stuck in a specific location, it's very hard and it takes very long time to actually find the way forward in the game. Something that I would say is that I feel like games should have more than one way to get to the location of a key, for example, or at least have it on your minimap so you can actually figure out a way how to get to a specific area, like have a goal, right? Have a quest. So yeah, it's those two things that I think that I would have to deduct from the game. Like, for example, if you open up your map, it should show where you are, should show where the goal is, and that would just make the game so much smoother to play. But I don't think there is games back in the day, at least in this day and age, 1997, that had that as a feature. But they could have colored a specific room a specific color, for example, red. That's where you have to go, because that is where your objective is. Other than that, I think this game is phenomenal. I'm going to rate this game 8 out of 10. It's not the best game I played, obviously, but it is definitely something that I feel like a lot of companies afterwards piggybacked on. For example, Counter-Strike 1.6. I feel like if you look at it carefully, it was one of the first 3D games, right? Not Valve, but Half-Life. I feel like this was definitely an inspiration to create that game. And that is how games work. Games operate by having something as a backbone. For example, a specific game for a specific genre. And then they just go with it and they build up a game. Something I also have to mention is that this game is actually way longer than I thought it's going to be. It might be because we have also a DLC that's called Post-Mortem that we just covered. And you fight literally all bosses in this game prior to every area. Another thing that I didn't like too much about the game is that the variety of enemies is really not there. So you have a guy that uses a shotgun, a machine gun. That's literally the same guy. They look exactly the same. But you could just say one is black, the other one is green, right? Or blue. Then you have fat guys, you have zombies, and I feel like that's the enemies you encounter the most. And then afterwards you get, okay, it's actually a decent amount of, it's a decent amount. You get gargoyles, which is obviously at the background. You can see it over there. And then you also get dogs. But dogs only get represented here at Farewell to Arms. It's quite deep in, and you rarely see them there at stage 1. I think there's one dog on the whole stage. So yeah, variety is decent. I would say 6 enemies. That's pretty decent. That's excluding all bosses, obviously, and mini stuff like rats and spiders and hands, right? Like I'm excluding those things and bats. That is not enemies to me. That is just like, I mean, the hands is if you play the original, because you can't throw them off. In this game, you just press the use button once and then the hand is off you, just by the way. Yeah, so I would say the variety is there. In obviously the post-mortem, there's a new enemy that's plants. So you get plants also here. I'm excluding all bosses, obviously. And you also get blue guys that could either have a, I don't know, a railgun is what it's called, right? Where you shoot electrical bolts out. And then also they throw Molotovs or, and not Molotovs, but like TNT at you. So yeah. I think this game was definitely something that a lot of people looked up to back in the day to create games. This is definitely a stepping stone in the gaming industry. And the game is not really 3D. That's why it looks weird if you look up and down. The game is somewhat like 2.5D, if that makes sense. So if you keep it at a, if you look at a parallel angle in the game should look fine. But as soon as you look up and down, it looks weird because the game is not programmed for actually you to look up and down. That's something else I need to mention. If you play this game on the MS-DOS version, looking up and down is almost impossible. You have to hold down a button to look up and down. And if you don't hold that button, you can move your mouse forward and your character would actually run forward. So it becomes very tricky. The buttons is not good. However, in the Steam version of this game is actually very playable in today's day and age. Pressing A and D, you actually strafe left and right. Where if you change the keys to strafe left and right on the emulator, you would not strafe left and right. Your character would go to the right, but it also will turn your camera to the right at the same time. So if you're trying to strafe while you're shooting, well, good luck with that, because you can't. You can't counter aim that. It's just way too fast that your character turns. So it's almost impossible to strafe shoot in the emulator. Other than that, I actually really enjoyed this game. I think it's definitely something that a lot of people, I'm gonna just say this again, a lot of people used to build on top of from games in the future. Back in the day, this game came out on DOS, obviously, and the way to play it, you had either a stiffy or a floppy drive of it, and if you didn't have a floppy drive, you couldn't play the game, because you had to use that in order to install the game, and then it's on your PC, and then you could take the floppy disk out. To think that this game came out back then when it was that, it's just crazy. I remember I got more into gaming when CDs came out. I played quite a bit of Sims 1. I played some weird hunting game. I played a game where I also fixed up cars directly after floppy disks. I also played Road Rush. What else? There was quite a lot of games that I played that was on PC. I didn't play it on PlayStation, but I played a lot of Sims. I'm gonna just say that. I also played Typhoon Lagoon, and there was another one, Theme Park, Theme Hospital. Those were all very old games that that I played directly after this genre. Yeah, there was I actually still have those games with me in real time, so it's actually pretty insane. But yeah, sorry guys that this video is not that long. It was just the final zone. But that's, you know, sometimes how the cookie crumbles. I can't predict how long a game is unless I watch videos and do research and know exactly where to go. And then I would obviously know how close we are to the ending. I thought the previous video was going to be an ending, but then I saw, hey, there's another stage, and it didn't look like the final stage. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this series. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day supporting the channel. If you did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you beautiful people in the very next game. Love you, take care, and as always, remember to twist some noobs. And also, Niagro, thank you so much for sponsoring this series. If you want to sponsor the series yourself, link is in the description to an Excel sheet, and it only costs $5, and you tell me which game to play. Thanks for being, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.